If you grew up with the Sega Genesis and you were a sports fan, then chances are you heard of or even played a game called Mutant League Football. If you're unfamiliar with it, Mutant League Football was a fast-paced and violent 7-on-7 American football game that featured teams composed of skeletons, robots, superhumans, orcs, and even aliens. It also had all of these crazy types of fields with hazards littered all over them and refs that you could bribe, and it was just crazy. Well, Mutant Football League is the spiritual successor to that game, and in fact, it is designed by Michael Mendheim, who was the creator of that original game. And thankfully, Mutant Football League picks up right where Mutant League Football left off. It keeps the spirit of the original game intact while adding many cool and new elements of its own. It still has over a dozen fictional teams, most of which are parodies of NFL teams, and so you have the Deadlanta Vultures, for example, and the Nuke London Hatriots. You also have all of the player types, so you still have the skeletons, the orcs, the aliens, the robots, and all that stuff. Best of all, you still have all of the violence and the strategy that was in the original game. So for example, players can still fight after the play and they can still be killed, and if players die, they can be knocked out for the entire game and even the entire season. So you still have that layer of strategy there where you have to be careful about who you keep in the game. You have to bench players if they get hurt too badly, that way they won't die. You also still have the dirty trick plays that you can call to get an unfair advantage. Some examples of these are shotgun, which makes your quarterback pull out a literal shotgun and start shooting at the defense. You can also call a play on defense called ginormous, and that makes your defender turn gigantic and he can just run over players. And if he hits the ball carrier, then the ball carrier will fumble, so that's an easy way to cause a turnover. And of course, you can still bribe the referee and you can kill him if he's been bribed. So, if you were hoping for all of those things from the original Sega Genesis game to make it into this one, then you are in luck, because like I said, this is the definitive successor to that game. Now, as far as features go, it has the standard offline stuff. You have like a regular exhibition game that you can play. It also has a full 13-game season, which the original Genesis game did not have. And the season runs all the way through the playoffs and into the Mayhem Bowl. It also has online multiplayer, which currently is limited to 1 versus 1, but is supposed to be expanded. And it has local multiplayer, which supports up to 4 players. And what's cool about that is that you can do co-op or versus. As far as the season goes, there's nothing really too deep there. There's no trading or anything like that. There's nothing deep like in a franchise mode, for example. It's pretty much just a typical 13-game season. In between games, you can revive players that had died like in the previous game, so there's a little bit of strategy there, but that's about as deep as it goes. It does have league-wide stat tracking though, so you can go in and you can check how all of the teams are doing, like as far as rushing yards goes, passing yards, interceptions, just all kinds of things like that. But as far as what I really like about this game, I think the first thing that really hit me is just how polished this game feels to be from such a small team. Everything from the way the game looks to the way the interfaces are, even to the commentary team, it just feels like a very high quality product. And speaking of the commentary, I think that's really one of the game's high points. It features Tim Kitzrow, who's famous for his commentary in NFL Blitz and NBA Jam, and he just does a tremendous job. I mean, this has got to be hands down the funniest, most hysterical commentary team in any sports game to date. I mean, I don't think there's anything that even comes close to this. It'll make you laugh your ass off, guaranteed.
Oh, sweet mother of fornicating monkeys! He was destroyed on that play!
That's a very weird expression, Grim.
You ever been to the monkey house at the zoo, partner? Disturbing to say the least. Just like this.
I also really like how responsive and intuitive the game's controls are. If you've played Madden or NFL Blitz, then you can just hop right into this and you'll feel right at home in no time. It also has some really cool throwbacks to the original game. So, for example, it has like the helmet clash that happens when you first get ready to play a game. It has a halftime mini game that you can play, and if you win this mini game and you get enough points, then you earn a resurrection dirty trick, and you can call that in the second half to revive one of your players that died in the first half. It also has some funny throwbacks like orcs that still fart at the line of scrimmage, and sometimes that can actually mess them up because they'll fart and they'll be busy like trying to wave the smell away, and the play will start and it'll take them a second to react and actually start playing. So that is just hilarious, and I'm really glad that they kept small touches like that intact. It also has a lot of really cool options that can drastically change how the game plays. You can change the speed of the game, how difficult it is. You can turn dirty tricks on or off. You can turn resurrection on or off. So if you don't want players to stay dead, then you can turn resurrection on, and then they'll just be revived the very next play if they die. And last but certainly not least, I think this game just really has a great price. Right now it's right around $25, and for the content here, I think that's an excellent price. There's a lot of replay value in this game. There's even a bit of an unlock system where you have to play and you have to do certain things to unlock certain teams. And on top of that, it's just so fun and addictive. You can easily spend 50 plus hours playing this game, just going through different seasons, playing online, trying out all the different teams and all the different dirty tricks. There's a lot to this game, and I think for the money, it's well worth it. And best of all, the developers are going to continue to work on this game and improve it after release. They've said many times that the release is not the end. They're just going to keep working on it. And they're even supposed to be adding mod tools so that you can customize your own teams and players, and then they'll be adding more races as well, like werewolves and demons, and those will be free of charge. Really, the only cons to me are that there aren't any coaches, which I always loved the coaches in the original game on Sega Genesis, like Ace Bricka and just all the other coaches. They would have just really funny dialogue lines and all these funny animations that they would play on the play call screen. I really miss those. And something else that I wish was in the game was some sort of a replay system. The Sega Genesis game had replays, but this one does not. So if you run like an epic play and you want to see a really cool run or a really cool pass again, unfortunately there's no way to ever see it. Once it happens, it's just kind of gone. It's just it only exists in your memory. I think they've said that they may add a replay system post-launch, and I really hope they do. I think that would be awesome to have, especially in a game that's as just batshit crazy as this. I mean, some of the stuff you really want to see it again, so hopefully that'll be coming. But the no coaches and the no replays, I think those are mostly minor gripes. They're definitely not deal breakers, and I think the pros more than outweigh the cons. So overall, I think this is just a phenomenal sequel to the original game on Sega Genesis. So if you liked Mutant League Football, then I can almost guarantee that you will love this game. I think it's an improvement on the Sega Genesis game in almost every way. I think the AI is better. I think it plays better overall. There's a greater variety of trick plays. There's a greater variety of plays in general. I just think Michael Menheim and his team there at Digital Dreams have done an outstanding job, and I hope that you'll give this game a shot. And I also do want to mention that on Steam there's a free demo available, so if you want to try it without having to pay anything, you can do that right now and give it a shot and see what you think. But like I said, I can't possibly recommend this game enough, and I think it's an important game because it shows that you don't need a gigantic team to make a football game that's just fun as hell to play. I think this is an awesome alternative to Madden, and I think even if you're not a huge football fan, then you're still going to have fun with this game, and you're going to be laughing like crazy and just having a good time. But if you guys have any questions about this game, just feel free and leave a comment below, and I appreciate you all watching. This is Chubzdoomer signing out.
His cleats are caked in blood and guts, and he's looking to score. The 20. The 10. And he scores!